And welcome once again, SRL fans, to what is going to be one hell of a night here with the Dolphins up against the Melbourne Storm. The Dolphins camping here out at Suncorp Stadium, taking over from the Broncos last night, who had one hell of a victory. The Storm coming up from down south, hoping to upset them. I'm AMAC in the box, and joining me tonight is Luke Short. Luke, what are you most looking forward to out of this matchup tonight?
It's going to be an interesting matchup. Both teams coming off a 12-point loss last week. Both very strong teams, so we'll have to see how this goes.
Yeah, the Dolphins, they recorded their first loss last round. Uh, Probably in part, there was some commentary during the week, in part due to some interesting choices of fullback for the first half. But it's good to see that KCK is back in that number one jersey tonight, Luke.
Yeah, I mean, it's early in the season. You've got to try things out and just to make sure that, towards the back end of the season, if you've got to change things, you know it's going to work.
The Storm, they're sitting on 2 wins and 2 losses and will be hoping to push up into the top four tonight. The Dolphins, they're sitting in at number third. So it will be a good one all round. Other than the Dolphins, who have really surprised a lot of the SRL at the beginning of this season, the Storm have come out and they have an absolutely blistering forward pack, Luke.
Yeah, very strong forward pack with the likes of Akatank. Well, it was Juicy J. I'm not sure if he's still in the team this week, but yeah, Jack White at lock. Very strong forward pack right there.
Yeah, Juicy J, I think this is his last game. He's decided to retire and hang up the boots already. He's had enough of victory. And, well, I think the Storm blokes and Tamaturbo there in particular will be hoping for a good night out of their prop. Good set starting there from the Dolphins. And here come the Storm as Metcalf out to White. White pushing forward. They've got some good field position so far, playing it on the 40 for their second. They got all the field to work with, and Metcalf just decides to take a bit of a settler, working up to the 50. Going across, JJ, there he is. He is hoping for a big night tonight as he pushes over the 50 for his fourth. Corcoran back on the inside to Turbo again. Turbo pushing hard and up over the 40. Now, looking at last week, we had a little bit of a mismatch with the fullbacks for the Dolphins. Tama Turbo, he also had a bit of a quiet one, I think, last week, Luke.
Yeah, in terms of how Turbo plays, it was definitely a quiet one. You said before their forward pack has been blistering the Storms, but the likes of Metcalf and Turbo at the back, it's a dominant side already.
That is definitely true, and I would hate to be versing them next week as Bazinga gets up over the 40. Or Kahika, who moves into the number 9 tonight, who had a wonderful game off the bench last week, working into that position there. As Allison at least gets over the halfway, and it looks like tonight is going to be a bit of a defensive arm wrestle, Luke.
Yeah, and all teams, all game style like this, you got to work your way into the game. Can't win the game in the first 10 minutes, but you can definitely lose it. Both teams, which team will crack first? Maybe the one that we see the losers here tonight.
Has the Dolphins are very slow in the ruck there, and the ref decides to hold off. White bursting up down the field and is pushed back to the 40. That's their third. The Storm, this is the best field position they had so far as Tank pushes hard and pushes up over the 30 onto his back. And again, the Dolphins holding down a little bit in the ruck. Ooh, very slow out of the ruck there for Malakoso Ali, and he gets up to the 20. So the Storm, they're going to be able to put their first attacking kick in of the night, and we'll see if it's a Galaxy or Metcalf. Metcalf it is. He decides to run it, though, and digs way too deep in the line. Some jitters here at Suncorp, but you can't really blame them considering the absolute wave of red I can see out there, Luke.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough game to play when you come up to here to Suncorp, especially like the electric crowd of when you face the Broncos, but the Dolphins is like another home for them. This team goes to another level at Suncorp, and that's what the Storm are.
Oh, I can remember playing against the Dolphins back when Snicko was in charge last season, season before last, and it was always an exciting game. As Mellet, oh, not a very lengthy kick, but I think that's more of a tactical one there, Luke, to get some air back into the lungs and reset the defensive pressure.
Yeah, it's not a bad kick. He puts it in and it just sort of drops before he gets over that extra meters, but it's going to be a kick. It's going to turn the Storm back onto the back here, but yeah, it gives the Dolphins a breather that they surely needed.
Oh, and that's a lovely run from Captain White there, working his way first just shy of the 40. The Storm are in position as Nolt works his way up 35 metres out for a second. They come across. Corcoran darts out of dummy half. Two markers undefended there, but he's brought down by some quick rushing defence. Tank just takes a settler. 15 metres out. They're going to get a bit closer. Trust in their kicks down the blind side here. Nolt, another settler. Pushing 7 metres out. Hopefully Metcalf can put a kick in here, or maybe Galaxy. A lovely kick for Tama Turbo, and the Storm are over 10 minutes into this game, Luke.
Yeah, Galaxy with a nice grubby kick in right behind the defense. The defense line just rushed up, trying to shut that down, and Turbo, he's found himself right behind there and in for 4 points.
Oh, and the Dolphins, they had nothing. He went straight in between Allison and can't quite see who was dancing in and around the posts there, but Tama with that blistering speed. Well, he's a very, very dangerous fullback. As I'm speaking to another fullback out there who might be watching the competition.
Yeah, I definitely keep an eye out for all the fullbacks out there. They're technically competition for myself in my position, but you know, Turbo, he's definitely proven tonight why he's playing number one for the Storm.
So, 10 minutes into the game, we've had our first points of the night. It took a little bit for the Storm to work into it. What are the Dolphins needing to do now to get back into the game, Luke? Or is that just a bit special from the Storm and there's not much they could do?
I did mention before that a team can't win the game; they can definitely lose it. The Dolphins, they're gonna have to make sure that they don't lose it from the point. To set up defensively, you know, 6 points, it's not the end of the world. You've got plenty of time. Let's get back on the attack.
As Tonga, second tackle, works his way up to the 40. Good start so far to this set from the Storm. Eddie White comes in off his edge, but he's brought straight back down, maybe 2 meters in front of where the ruck was. Corcoran over to Malasuka Ali, and they finally get up over into the Dolphins half, but they are making hard meters here. The Dolphins somehow still turning up for the defense. 59 meters gained for that one. They're not going to be able to kick it high, but off the side of the boot down here comes Owners. And unfortunately, the big man is not able to make it. So a good set after points there for the Storm.
Yeah, really good set. You need to complete them after points. You don't want to. Oh, as Fordman gets leveled there.
Yeah, that's exactly what the Storm want as they try to shovel Owners off to the sideline. Third tackle on the 20, and the Dolphins are struggling to make meters. They are going to have to kick here as Johnson, again, doesn't really make much. Here we go with Lewis. He kicks it. That's a good kick. It bounces, but it just doesn't have the angle. But a good kick chase, and the Storm camped here on the 40. That probably a good kick back there from the Dolphins, Luke.
Look, all that defensive pressure from the Storms, perfect set after points. All of that almost come undone because the Dolphins they almost got that 40 there if Turbo didn't get on his bike there.
And we've seen a couple of special kicks this round. We saw a 2040 in one of last night's games, which was a little bit special, the second of SRL 2.0, and lots more to come as Metcalf takes a settler to get up over the 30. So the Storm, only 31 meters gained after that kick there for the Dolphins, and say what you want, everything's been... Oh, that was not good. I was about to say everything's been going the Storm's way, and might just be time for the Dolphins to capitalize on that, Luke.
Yeah, it's not the end of the set that Storm wanted or they're going to need there, but it's not going to hurt them as much in terms of field position there. they've still got up into the Dolphins end there. Just not having that last tackle option come through for them.
As the Dolphins are working down the right side of the field. Rangahamai Hawani just shy of the 50 for his third. They got the rest of the wide side to come as Bazinga works his way back up the middle. They need a really good run here if they want to come up with an attacking kick, and Lewis links up with Plays, who has been very quiet so far tonight. I think the Dolphins, they're going to need their captain to step up a bit more. He has been working wonders for me in fantasy, and he needs to do a little bit more working wonders tonight if the Dolphins want to get over the line, Luke.
Yeah, I mean, to defend him, they haven't had a lot of the ball at the moment. The Storm, they've got the majority of the possession. So when the Dolphins do have the ball, they may need to go to him a bit more to try and push that captain.
As Corcoran tries to thread the needle in between two offside defenders. Tonga links up with White. Long ball out to Galaxy, who has to dance around one of his own players, but comes up with it just shy of the 50. Again, they go that way as Turbo links up with Weary Jones, who is brought down by some desperate defenders. 42 metres, and the Dolphins are slowly inching back some field possession. They would want a good kick chase here, but that is a massive kick from Galaxy, and oh, that was just the perfect kick and the perfect kick defense there, Luke.
It was a beautiful kick. Chapman, KCK there may have been able to let that one go for a 7 tackle set, but he's got it. He's tried the kick return and it hasn't paid off because that.
Well, say what you want. The Storm. Oh, here we go. Turbo. He's over for a second. He didn't even let me finish my sentence. He must have heard that that I said he had a bit of a quiet week last week, and he is making me eat crow. Dances straight through over another second of the night. Oh, that's just a phenomenal one there, Luke.
Absolutely. I think KCK may be regretting that decision to take that ball instead of letting it go over the side, the end dead ball line, because that has not paid out for the Dolphins whatsoever.
And there we go. The Dolphins are now trailing the Storm by 12 points. And, well, this is going to get very painful if the Dolphins can't come up with a way to shut Turbo down.
Yeah, 2 tries to Turbo so far in this game. Probably that 10-minute window, of course, talking about, probably, could be coming into effect here if the Dolphins don't really turn this one around.
As Galaxy returns the ball to some rushing defense and makes probably about 15 meters there, which is a good return for his first. Is good pass to JJ. Lovely off-road, but they lose about 5 meters as Malokosali'i is forced to play it on the 30. Ooh, tricky ball out to Nolt, and Nolt back on the inside to Corcoran. Corcoran is not able to go much further. The Dolphins, they are wise to the offload game, and they are shutting it down as quickly as they come. Turbo just shy of the 50, fourth tackle. Going blind. Nolt just takes a settler in the Storm. Bit of a patchy set after points, 48 meters gained. They have their props, bench props coming on though. Some good injection there from Cotter and Lockyer because, well, as much as they were ruining the field, Tank and Juicy J, they were just getting a little bit tired out there, Luke.
Yeah, always good to have some fresh blood on the field, fresh legs. But, the Dolphins, they aren't going to shy away. They've got Punch and Harris coming on now, so maybe that's what they need, that impact event.
Yep, Daniel Punch, a recent recruit coming into the Dolphins team, coming across. Here we go, plays. There we are, the captain pushing forward for some good post-contact meters. 49 meters gained, not as far as they needed to go, but the Dolphins need to be patient to work their way back into this match. As Weary Jones again stands still, comes around, turns KCK inside out, Goose steps around and almost gets away. That was some blistering speed there from the number 5, Luke.
Yeah, and we were talking about how KCK was taken out of the fullback position last week. And this week he hasn't really sort of found himself back into that position yet, making some crucial mistakes that could cost the Dolphins.
As Turbo, third tackle just shy of the 30. Back in the pocket, Tonga over to Metcalf. Oh, that was a bit of a... Well, I was going to say it was a bit of a miss there. Could have been a knock on, but all up, it turns into a bit of a Dolphins win in the end, and the SRL gods giveth and the SRL gods taketh there.
Yeah, good defense there from the Dolphins. They really couldn't let the Storm attack their line again at this point. They need some board.
Oh, James cops one hell of a hit there, and that over, under, inside, outside just doesn't come off with them. The Dolphins, they look like they are stuck in mud at the moment. Third tackle on their 30. Plays, doing what he can to get his team out of danger up to the 40. They might risk a 40-20 here, but instead, T. Kahika is pushed back and decides, well, they can't really do much. 21 meters gained and 15 minutes left in this half. The Dolphins, they do not have an answer for this onslaught from the Storm just yet, except for that. I stand corrected. They, if in doubt, drop a shoulder in, Luke.
Yeah, I was just about to say the physicality of the Dolphin side versus Storm at this moment. They're all over them, the Storm. But, you know, they just put a shot on turbo, so maybe they're rising to the occasion.
And you would have to, because these Brisbane fans out here, a lot of them might be here just because the Broncos aren't playing. They're confused by the red, and they want to see some blood. Galaxy, 30 meters gained there from the Storm. They're not making as many meters as they probably wanted. Sanchez forced to kick it down. This is good chance here from Townsend to pirouette through, but there is a wave of purple and white. 13 minutes left. It's going to be very interesting to see what the stats are at halftime in terms of how much ball the Storm have had compared to the Dolphins, Luke.
Yeah, they definitely feel like they've had the majority of the ball this half. The Dolphins, they feel like they've barely touched it, but they need to get this ball singing. Otherwise, it could be a long night.
As Mellet does what he can, but he kicks it straight to Turbo, and he gets around the first and already up to the 50. So this is a good field position here for the Storm. This might prove dangerous as the bench props link up. Cotter just shy of the 40 for his second. Corcoran out of dummy half again, makes about 10 meters. Third tackle. They are hard meters, the Dolphins. They're hanging in, but the dam might break soon as Captain White up over the 30. Fourth tackle. They'll need a good run here if they want an attacking kick. And Galaxy puts his hand up, back on the inside to Maloko Sali'i. Gets to that magic red line. This might at least put a bomb up in the air. Speak of the devil, there he is. Galaxy, he's had a good night off the boot. And, well, no, it comes out fairly well. They don't get him back over, but they bury him just shy of the line. And again, I don't want to keep saying it, but the Dolphins, they are not having any luck tonight against the Storm, Luke.
No, to be having to come out of your end again, we do see him get over the 20 there, but, you know, third tackle, you don't have much to work with here. If they keep this up, the Storm, they will run it well to get this.
As T. Kahika tries his best out of dummy half yet again. They get over the 40 for their fifth tackle. 33 meters gained. It feels like forever since the Dolphins found themselves in Storm territory. Bozzy Lewis boots it on down, but here comes White. He gets around the first two layers, and there is no one at home. Shut the gate. We've got a winger going over for another one, and the Storm possibly making it into 18 against a donut, Luke.
Yeah, nice run there from the winger. The Storm scoring another 4 points. You'll say the conversion, so another 6, but the Dolphins there, we've got to wonder if they've even come out of the sheds.
Yeah, I got a little bit confused. I didn't see where KCK got trapped up, but he must have been caught early up in the line, trying his best to stop that kick coming on down. So with 9 minutes left, it looks like Justin Plays is going to have a hell of a chat with his blokes in the sheds at halftime, Luke.
Yeah, and as I said before, we all questioned Justin Plays' decision to move KCK last week, but he might have been onto something this game so far.
Here we go again. Justin Plays kicking off down the field. Not what they expected tonight, considering how hot out the trot they came for the first 3 rounds. But this is just what happens sometimes in the SRL. You can be onto a good thing and, suffer a couple back in. But that's another one that Turbo has just copped. That man must be caning right now, Luke.
I'd have to question if that guy was even on side. He seemed like he was there before anyone else.
Well, we are in Queensland, so there's a little bit different rules if you're a cane toad team up the top here, as not coming up over the 30. They might get a kick in. They're probably too far out, but Corcoran makes it all mathematical and makes it up over the 40. So that was a good defensive set there for the Dolphins. If the Dolphins can get a try before half time, that will do wonders, not just for their confidence, but for their chances to work back into this game, Luke.
Yeah, momentum is everything, and if you can get some points on the board, that can do a lot for your momentum and your team.
As punch, New Dolphin works his way up over the 50. Kahika out of dummy half. That's a good run there. Third tackle, we're in the 40. Best field position they've had all night. But Bozzy Lewis, they need to do more than just darting out of dummy half. That's fourth tackle. Oh, here he goes again. They will at least get to the 20, but you'd have to say that's probably not the set that the Dolphins captain would have wanted there, Luke.
No, they might get their first. Oh, as we forward pass.
Well, that was actually almost perfect. I almost commentated, cursed it, or get out, but yeah, call from the touchy was that was forward. Gabiona's big body shielding it, so they had no chance but to call it as Lockyer. Well, they're using almost everyone on their team to come up. 5 minutes left. The Dolphins, they're not going to like the chat from Captain Plays in the shed. What do you think Jack White is going to be telling his boys, the Storm boys, in the Storm sheds tonight, Luke?
Oh, I mean, if you're Jack White, you're not saying much. Your team is doing everything they need to do to win a game. You wouldn't want to change much, but they got to remember 40 minutes of football. There's still 40 minutes to play. It can be just as easy to lose this game from here.
Yep, the record comeback from the season 1 of SRL 1.0 was 24 points, so it's still within the realms of possibility as Gabionas almost breaks it off down the field if it wasn't for some desperate defense there. Lewis linking up with James. James breaking through the line, up and over and 50. They've got 3 minutes left, and this is probably the set that they need. There is no fullback at home. A really weird pass out of dummy half. Mellick cleans up third tackle. They basically waste that one. That's not what you want. Tikahika pushes off one and then passes it to Jack White. Yeah, that kind of that kind of sums up how the Dolphins are going so far tonight, Luke.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much you can really say about that. All these dummy half runs to just pass it straight over to the other team. Halftime can't come quick enough for these Dolphins, I believe.
As Galaxy steps out of dummy and gets third tackle just shy of the 20. The Storm, they want one more before going into the halftime break as the props come back on. Corcoran, Galaxy actually throws it instead of darting this time, and Nolt pushes up over the 10. Setting himself up for a kick, maybe off to Metcalf. Here we go, Galaxy boots it high again. Owners is there to bring it down. There is no one to stop him, but he's pushed back, and they're going to be forced with 40 seconds to play it. Basically, oh, here we go. The Storm, 30 seconds. Can they get back across? Quick defenders trying to get back on side. JJ pushed back. This will be it. This is the last play. Oh, excuse me. The last play of the first half. Metcalf links up with Turbo, but Turbo can't do it. We'll see you after the break. And welcome back to the second half here at Suncorp Stadium with Melbourne Storm, 18 points leading the Dolphins, who are sitting still on a donut. For those of you who tuned in halfway through, there's only really one answer to the reason why the scoreboard is the way it is, and it is ball possession, Luke.
Yeah, the Storm, they've had the majority of the possession in the first half. Every time the Dolphins touched it, the Storm, they found a way to get the ball back, and that shows on the scoreboard here.
Yep, the Storm, they completed 13 sets in the first half. The Dolphins only had 13 sets, completing 9 of them. So if they want to come back into this game, they need to find a way to wrestle that possession back, because the Storm, they are ascendant right now. As Cotter plays the ball on the 40. Kick time. Metcalf does just that. He cross-fields it, doesn't really have the length, and here comes KCK. Now, KCK, he had a bit of a quiet first half, Luke. He did, with only about 20 run meters to his name. So again, the Dolphins, they're going to want some of their key players to really hit out here, as Lewis links up with James and Harrison, pushing hard to get over the 50. Fourth tackle. Very slow off the play there. Lewis darting out a dummy half and not really doing much with it, unfortunately. So 20 meters gained. That is not the set that the Dolphins wanted. First holding the ball in the second half, and they would hope for a good kick chase here, because the Storm, they will eat this up. But there we go. Eddie White does what he can. The Storm fighting out of their first half here. Sanchez up the tram lines, coming across. Walker dances through the line, brought down in a desperate tackle there. Third tackle on the 40. Going back down the blind. Metcalf linking up with Turbo, White. Turbo and White, they have had an amazing game so far. White, he ran 140 run meters in the first half. Turbo, even though he's got himself 2 tries, only managing 118, which is nothing to be sniffed at, but he, by his own standards, will be wanting a heck of a lot more. White, booting it on down. On a dime to KCK, and he is met with a wall of Storm jerseys. The Dolphins, they are now fighting out of their, well, they were fighting out of their 20 meters. Bozzy Lewis just makes them 20 meters there. This is exactly what the Dolphins need, Luke.
Oh, yeah, that was a good set for him to get out of trouble there. The Dolphins, they really need to get some points on this board early in the second half. Storm, they've just been too dominant.
As James, probably one of the best players of the Dolphins in the first half. Not a lot of run meters, but the most tackles of all of the Dolphins in the first half, with 20 and only 1 missed, which is going a long way towards making it only 18 points instead of a white and purple wash like the Storm would like it to be. Here we go with Corcoran coming across. Lockyer. They spread it laterally, and they can't really make too many more meters. The Storm, they need to go back to what they did in that first half, Luke, because whilst they might be leading by 18, SRL can be a very fickle mistress. As Metcalf, up the tram tracks, gets over the 44th tackle. Very slow play the ball there, but we carry on as Cotter tries his best. The Storm, they have now been forced 40 meters, a much better defensive set there from the Dolphins, and Gabionas is going to have his chance once more to break off down the field, but again, met resoundingly by some strong Storm defenders. Owners plays the ball. Tikahika punch forced back. Again, the Storm, they are turning up in waves and waves of defense. They are turning the screws, and they do not want the Dolphins going anywhere. Third tackle, and they're not even to the 20 yet. Lewis, Tikahika. Good pass out to KCK, but KCK can't break on through. Fourth tackle at the 4:30. They've got 30 minutes left, and things are starting to get a bit desperate out there. It's Townsend, the only Dolphins player in the first half to break 100 run meters. Again, they need more out of their strike players. Tamaturbo sees a gap and tries to get through it, but, well, I don't know what the Dolphins can do to hold out these Storm here, Luke.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. The Dolphins, they've feel like they've been trying to do something with the Storm. They just know the game plan. They know what's going to happen every time they touch the ball. And the Storm, they've got an 18-point lead here. As we see Turbo, he's going to get back there, but no. I thought he was over for his hat trick there.
Oh, I did too, but some desperate defense just held him out as Metcalf turned onto his back, and they will have to bring it back 10 meters for their fifth. Again, danger signs here because the Storm, they have been working wonders off their boot, particularly Galaxy tonight, Luke.
Yeah, they've been really good with that boot, the kicking boot of Galaxy. Usually you say Metcalf's been the guy to go to, but Galaxy tonight has been killing it for the Storm.
Weary Jones, however, in a lovely jersey number 91, uh, does a wonderful kick, and they're able to bring the Dolphins back into their own goal. So the Storm, they couldn't score, but they did the next best thing. It will be a kickoff here by Captain Plays, and he boots the ever-loving heck out of it. Metcalf is forced to return it, and he does the unspeakable. That is exactly what the Dolphins needed there, Luke.
Yeah, that boot, we may have thought it may have got stuck in the rafters. It wasn't coming down. But Metcalf, I was just saying that he's usually the go-to man for the Storm, but he does that and gives the Dolphins the possession on the attack.
James forcing his way up to the 33rd tackle. They need more out of their strike players. I feel like a broken record, but it needs to be said. Harrison keeps pushing just shy of the 20. The Storm risking the ire of the refs there, but the refs hold off. Punch linking up with Plays. Plays gets almost to the 10. This is it. They need to score this set. There's 27 minutes left on the clock. Tikahika puts it high. Is it going to be enough for a tap back? No, Weary Jones comes down with it. A diver goes diving, and the Storm, they see off yet another challenge from the Dolphins.
Yeah, it's a good kick. The Dolphins getting into the attacking zone there to try and put some points on this board finally. The clock is really against them at this rate. They need to score.
Lockyer playing it on the 23rd tackle. Captain White pushing hard, getting up to the 30. A good defensive set here will go a long way. And again, the refs, they are being very kind to both sides tonight. I've counted about 3 or 4 different tackles that would have been 6 again. Or at least a held in tackle. 35 meters gained. 5th tackle. Here comes Metcalf booting it on down. They are really targeting owners tonight there, Luke.
Yeah, and it's an interesting one. Like, Owners, he's a big body on the wing. I guess that's probably why you target him, but, you know, he at any stage, he could run over the top of you too.
And when he runs Bozzy Lewis cops another one. The Storm have hitmen out there tonight as Tikahika forcing his way up, 4th tackle. You can't underestimate the impact of a big hit and how slow that can make you play the ball. Lewis, they make 27 meters, the Dolphins, and well, it's fair to say, as KCK just flubs it. Yeah, I've got nothing for that one there, Luke.
And that's the risk you play when you hook it. Oh God, Corcoran gets one back there. I feel like a bit more of a bloody friggin' hit out here than a footy match we're watching.
Yeah, they know they can't win probably now at this state, so they're going to see what they can do to put the other team in the hospital. As Turbo comes out of dummy half, gets around the first and gets 20 out, 4th tackle. Going across White, running a settler, 15 meters out, again hoping for a good kick. They need to put it along the ground. They've had a lot more luck out of their grubbers. As James reaching down to grab the ball is absolutely rocked, and the refs say nothing. The Suncourt fans, they wanted blood, and they are getting it, Luke.
Well, man, this has become a bit of a bloodbath, really. Both teams starting to really put that shoulder into the action here.
And kind of surprised there hasn't been any injuries yet, as KCK tries to thread the needle and is forced back just shy of the 30. Lewis back in the pocket to Stags, and Stags can't do anything with it. They only make 20 meters for that one. A good kick chase here, or at least a good run off back down the field here from the Storm, and we might see points very soon because it's been about 15 minutes and we haven't seen any points, Luke. So Well, no, it's been 20 minutes. We haven't seen any points in this half yet.
Yeah, I mean the Storm, they know that they've got the lead. They've got an 18-point lead. You can defend that. You don't have to necessarily score points. The Dolphins, they really need points. They can't afford to really lose another game in a row. And look, even if you do lose tonight, you're looking at your plus and minus. You want to decrease that. So
Oh, there we go. There's a bit of a discipline issue, a bit of fatigue issue popping in. Speaking of wanting to win tonight, the Dolphins, they've got the Sharks next week. So not only do they have one heck of a matchup tonight, which looks like it's slowly slipping out of their hands, but the Sharks, they're nothing to sniff at next week either, Luke.
no, the Sharks are definitely a team that has proven that they can get the job done. The Dolphins going into that with a 0-2 record, in the last two games, could possibly be another bloodbath on the cards.
And speaking of the final blood being drawn, Akatank forces his way over. That is it. Stick a fork in them. The Dolphins don't have a chance of coming back from this one, unfortunately. The question now is, how much painful will the rest of this night be for the Dolphins?
Yeah, the supporters here are going to probably be disappointed after this game. How much it will be the next question. The Dolphins, I mean, anything is possible, but the likeliness of the attack that we've seen so far from the Dolphins tonight, it's lackluster to say the least.
And there he is, just in place. He is obviously not happy. You can see it there on his face, but he is still out there leading his team. They're going to try at least to get some points on their ledger. As Corcoran takes the first hit up of this set. 20 meters out, first tackle. Going across to White. White, he would love a try of his own. In fact, quite a few punters out there would love him to score one himself tonight. Metcalf linking up with Walker. Walker dancing around one up to the 40. Again, very slow in the ruck, but the refs, they do what they can to not blow the whistle. Metcalf. Bit of a settler, fourth tackle, just shy of the 50. Dancing out again, Corcoran. Here he goes. Tank. They see the offload and they advance. They can't really do much more, though, Storm. I don't want to say that they've let the foot off the neck, but it looks like they've just put it back a few gears and they're running in a little bit of cruise control here, Luke.
It's, as far as the Storms are concerned, it's a game set and done, match complete. Move on to next week. But yeah, as they say, we see KCK make a really good line break there and give the Dolphins some really good position here.
Yeah, probably the best position they've had for about 10 minutes or so as Lewis gets up over the 30 for his third. They need another good couple of runs and they need to put the ball to boot and do what the Storm have done. Try to put ball to boot grubber-wise instead of up into the air because that has just not been working for them tonight. As Digby Johnson on the 20. Bazinga smashing it straight up the middle. They get to the 10. Fifth tackle. This is it. They need to get across. This is the best chance they've had in a while. Stagg puts boot to ball, and it just goes straight into Captain White's hands. Almost like it was destined to do that, Luke.
Yeah. Probably not the person you want kicking there. It sort of just dropped it on the boot there, and it's only gone like a meter or so. But the Dolphins, again, just no attack. There's no bite in this team at the moment.
Well, moving forward, again, they can't do much with tonight's game, but looking forward to next week, what do the Dolphins need to do to find some of that sizzling form they had in the first few rounds, Luke?
Yeah, then they're going to have to go back to the drawing board, find out what worked in the first couple of rounds and go back to it. I don't know if maybe the last week's game distracted them and displaced the team and they haven't found that form again, but it's not working right now.
Good ball out to Owners, who lumbers off up down the side and he's brought down 40 meters out, second tackle. All of the field to work with, and Benson almost throws an intercept there, but Mellett, they lose about 10 meters with that offload, back to the 40. Itahika, again, gains that 10 meters back, fourth tackle on the 30-meter line. Coming over, punch, Linking up with Mellet, and Mellet gets them at least to the 20, so they can probably put a kick in, and if they're lucky, they can do something with it here. Tahika. Oh no, again, he puts boot to ball, but Metcalf comes up with it, and the Storm, they do not look troubled at all. Not even a little bit here, Luke.
No, they know they've got to work out at the 20, but, they're not worried about it. The Dolphins, they're, again, not the last tackle option you want. I don't know if that's the kicker or, it's just he got the ball and he thought he'd try and kick it, but it's not getting to the right players.
No, as Tonga almost gets up to the 40 for their fourth. Again, they're just conserving a bit of energy here now, the Storm. They're not doing anything too flashy. Getting to their fifth tackle option and off down the field. 10 minutes left. We've talked a lot about the Dolphins tonight and what they kind of need to do as Townsend tries his best to drag the Dolphins up. The Storm, next week, they are up against an old rival in the Sea Eagles. What do the Storm need to do to start preparing for that game next week, Luke?
A lot of what you've done tonight, it's been a good turnaround from last week's game. They went down. So the Seagulls, they're no team to like cough at, but the Storms, if they can do a lot of what they've done tonight, it's going to help them a lot.
Yep, and the Seagulls, they will be riding high off their first win of the season on just coming last Monday night. So they will not be an easy side to beat, as White is forced back. First tackle, 8 minutes left to go. Here we go with the Storm. JJ back on the field, is not really able to do much with it. The Dolphins are really turning up into defense now. They see a 0 next to their name, and they don't want that to happen. And there we go. Oh, here we go. Let's just
say that.
Oh, I've got a bad feeling here, Luke. Oh no.
He's dropped it to the tackle. This try-saving tackle keeps the Dolphins to 0 here.
Oh, that's absolutely heartbreaking. Everyone in the stadium and everyone in the chat wanted them to get over, and Daniel Punch, finally back in the SRL, would have been the hero of the Dolphins in the Dolphin shed tonight. And instead, the Storm, they've got a 7 tackle set to work their way back up the field.
Yeah, and someone's got to actually ask Akatank the question, does he know where he is right now? Because that was one hell of a hit.
As Weary Jones is pushed back almost to the 30 for his second. 7 minutes left on the clock. Tonga just taking a bit of a settler to work up over the 40. Here we go again. Corcoran, Tank, good ball. JJ, props linking up. It looks like Tank has still got his wits about him because that ball went backwards and not forwards. Galaxy to Tonga. Tonga again pushing up to the 40, and the Storm, with a 7 tackle set, only really made it 39 meters. So the Dolphins are doing some things correct, but they need to do a little bit more, and KCK is unfortunately wrapped up and not able to do it. So with 6 minutes left, the Dolphins again find themselves fighting out of their 10, Luke.
Yeah, it's a story of as old as time. This Dolphins side has been doing this all night. They haven't been able to really get out of their end.
As Punch, the almost try scorer, just shy of the 30. KCK gets through the line and he has to dodge about 3 or 4 players and is brought down by 1. Tama just dancing around, flaunting it and not really doing much else. Benson shrugs off 1, and there's Tama finally forced to tackle. Brings Benson down on the 30. They won't be able to bomb it here, but Staggs kicks it down and across, and here comes Weary Jones. Nope. There goes Weary Jones, forced back to the 10. 4 minutes left in the match. Probably about 2 sets for each team. It's hard to see the points changing much with the way these two teams are now being a little bit messy out there, Luke.
Yeah, the Dolphins, they really do want to try and get some points, at least to avoid that 0, if anything. The Storms, they're just playing a free-flowing footy. They don't care. If they turn it over, they turn it over.
As not. A bit of a risky ball out to Sanchez, but they recover and they get to the 40 for their 5th, 53 meters gained. Very slowly playing the ball there, Sanchez, and Metcalf punts it on back down. Townsend, if anyone deserves a try out there tonight, that is the man. But unfortunately, Tama is there to stop him, and this will probably be the last set of the night for the Dolphins. So they need to do something spectacular here, Luke, or the Storm are going to snuff them out fierce.
Talking about snuffing out, Lewis just standing around there and gets completely taken care of.
As Bazinga. Oh, Lewis. They had a chance for a 40-20 there, and instead he's out of dummy half and over the 50. Fifth tackle, 40 minutes gained, 40 meters gained, I should say, not minutes. And Staggs just goes through the motions down to Weary Jones. And he gets around one, and the Storm start in their 20-meter zone. Tonga, it looks like they're just going to do some one-off stuff here and there. Make about 10 meters off each run. Nothing special, nothing too terrifying as Nolt comes back under 45 meters out. Third tackle, they'll probably get to a kick, but it's all going to be mathematical in the end as Turbo. Oh, lovely pass there, and JJ is wrapped up. Something fierce, so that'll be the last touch of the ball that JJ has in the SRL, at least for the time being. And Tonga, if he can play the ball, the Storm might get a kick off. And the Dolphins, well, this is their last chance to score. And of course, Townsend, he deserves it. They want him to get it, but the Storm, they do not allow it. In the end, one hell of a horror night here for the Dolphins. The Storm coming away 24-0 victors. And it's hard to see where the Dolphins go from here, Luke.
Straight back to the drawing board. Possession 39%. No field position at all. No ball, time in the attack. You just got to hit the reset button and go on to next week.
Yeah, the Dolphins 6 errors, 883 meters to almost 1,300. Everything is in way to the Storm there, and well, if we move over to some individual stats here, we're going to see exactly how hard it was a night out there for the Dolphins. There's KCK, 129 run meters, 13 tackles with 2 missed. When you've got your fullback making 13 tackles and being kept to the low 100s, well, if we keep going down a little bit more to Brodie Townsend, when you got your winger outpacing your fullback, that explains a lot in terms of how hard a night it was out there for the Dolphins, Luke.
Yeah, and none of your forwards even breaking 100 meters. I can't see any of them there breaking. Yeah, no, breaking none of. I don't think any of them broke 100 meters. So you don't have any brute in your forward pack laying that platform.
Yep. Good night for tackling out there. 26 there for Tahika, who did his best in the first half as a number 9, but wasn't really allowed to do much else. Daniel Punch coming in off the bench, 30 tackles and almost scoring one of his own is just a bit heartbreaking for the young man. But if we go over to the Storm, who are the victors of the night, and well, here we go. Jack White, 128, and lovely run hit out there for the young man. 210 there for Eddie White coming in off the wing. The fact he wasn't able to score is oh no, he did score. What am I saying? There we are. He scored himself. A wonderful hit out there from the winger. Tama Turbo, 202 run meters, 13 tackles, 6 missed. That might be something that Tama needs to look at when it comes to training this week, Luke.
Yeah, they're probably lucky that with him missing 6 tackles, that they didn't get scored on. But he's had a lot of teammates help him out there and save those tries.
Corcoran, 130 run meters. JJ, again tonight, there was just no sugarcoating it. The Storm absolutely steamrolled the Dolphins, and from the looks of things, it wasn't the forwards tonight. It was actually the back line that really dominated out there.
I mean, the forwards still didn't shy away from it. You got Tonga doing 116 meters, Jack White 128 in 65 minutes. Even Quinton Cotter, that you said come off the bench, 76 run meters from a bench player. So the forwards definitely helped lay the platform for the Storm that the Dolphins just didn't keep up.
And of course, Matt Galaxy there, 10 kicks for 37 meters. Metcalf, 7 for 270. So an all-round team effort here from the Storm tonight, 24 points to nil. That's probably going to be it for us tonight. That's the second time we've been up here at Suncorp this week, and whilst one Brisbane team came away with the win, unfortunately it didn't work the other way there for the Dolphins. So we'll say our goodbyes. I've been AMAC in the box, joined with Luke Short. Enjoy the rest of your evening.